to the first episode of Avenue 77 Insights, where I, together with my guest, will be discussing a series of topics that are prevalent within the workplace. Joining us today is Audrey Pitt from Convera, one of our long-term tenants here at Avenue 77, to speak about her take on burnout. Good morning, Audrey. Thank you for agreeing to sit with us today and chat with us. Would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about Convera and also your role within the company?
Hi, good morning, Amanda. Thanks for organizing this. So yes, Convera is a cross-borders payments company. We're a global company and we help our customers to achieve their best value, highest value with every transaction that they make.
Right.
Yeah. I myself, I work in the workplace environment and office. I manage Malta, Czech Republic and Warsaw.
Well, how many employees are you globally?
Okay, so globally we're around 2,000 and in Malta we're around 18 people.
Okay.
Yeah, we're a smaller team here. Yeah.
Right, and you work on a hybrid basis?
Correct, yes.
So what's the model like? How many days you work at home or out of the office?
Yes. So normally, we can choose any 3 days of the week that we can work from the office, and then the other 2 days you can work from home. But we have the option to come in this lovely office every day if we wanted to. But yeah, Convera gives us that flexibility to.
Yes, in fact, hybrid is becoming more and more common these days, and sounds like it works well for you, for your team too. Audrey, let's get on to the topic.
Yeah.
Okay, so according to the WHO, burnout is a syndrome conceptualized as resulting from chronic workplace stress that has not been successfully managed. It is characterized by 3 dimensions, and they are these: A, feelings of energy depletion or exhaustion; B, increased mental distance from one's job; C, reduced professional efficacy. In your opinion, what are the most common workplace factors that contribute to burnout?
Yes. I think burnout, Amanda, has really become a topic, that we're thinking about probably every day. It's become such a demanding world, right? I think it's very important to have clarity in our roles to avoid that burnout. And I always believe that anyone can do anything when they have support, whether, that being team support from their manager. I think support is the most important factor.
Imperative, that makes a lot of sense. They're very, very important key contributors. Following on from what you've just mentioned, what steps has Convera taken to actually foster a safe place for its employees?
Yes, Amanda, that's a great question. As you know, having a lovely office and so functional as Avenue 77 has been very, very important to us. So that's, our employees can come when they want, or those 3 days or even more to work from the office, right?
Yeah.
And then apart from the workplace, it comes down to the culture, right?
Tell me about that.
Yes, so Convera is a very inclusive and diverse culture, okay? Everyone's allowed to be who they are, okay? For me, for example, so I check in with my manager on a daily basis, and I know that he's there to support me.
Okay.
A very important value we have in Convera is to be respectfully candid. So this is something that we're really used to, and we speak about it in meetings, on our weekly meeting, to be upfront. Obviously, there's ways of, saying
Confronting
things.
An issue or anything, okay?
Yeah, and
with your manager.
It's okay, when things don't go the way we want them to go, way we wish them to go. It doesn't matter. We all learn from it, and we all keep going together as a team. We all keep going forward as a team. So yes, respectfully candid is a very important value.
Right.
And another one that we practice a lot is being one Convera.
Okay, what's that?
That we always come together and we support in any way we can. It's not about one person, but it's the whole team together.
As most people know, in fact, burnout can be overwhelming. But my question is, does it really have to control us, right? Would you say that there are any daily habits or routines that can help prevent burnout from taking control?
Yes, for sure, Amanda. I think we all need to be very adult and mature in ourselves, and go perhaps, maybe for me, what works for me, I have my daily kind of check-in, What's blocking me? What do I need? Whose support do I need? And just don't be afraid to ask, Ask for help, As well, something that's very important, I feel, is to do one thing a day that you really enjoy on a personal level, okay? Now, we don't all have lots of time, do we? Okay. No. But it could be like having that simple conversation with someone from your family, or make that phone call to someone, to your grandma or something. Something special, that makes you feel, or you went to the gym, or you went, you did some yoga, but something that you truly enjoyed, so your day important. You feel,
Yeah. And I know that you spoke to me once about Convera offers this Wednesday, monthly Wellness Wednesday. What's it called? How do you refer to it?
Yes. We're all so excited about it.
Okay, tell us about that. I might implement it here.
Yes. Management would really listen to the teams. Okay. So this was an idea that came from employees. Okay. And we've just had the first one in March, and they've introduced Wellness Wednesdays, okay? So we get one Wednesday a quarter.
Oh, it's a quarter, okay.
Yes.
Not a month.
It's a good start.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what happens on this Wednesday?
And so that day, the whole company is off, except, of course, the skeleton staff to keep the business going.
Okay. This is globally, right?
Correct. This is globally, and the idea of this is because when we take a day off, then you have to come back to work the next day.
Millions of emails.
And you have to pay for it.
The next day.
Yeah. Okay.
Inevitably.
So that's the whole scope. So when we come back, our emails are clear. Okay.
Does that really happen? Is it?
Well, you might have a few, but it's not that overwhelm of having a full inbox. Now, on Wellness Wednesday, everyone needs to do what wellness means to them. It could be trekking, it could be going for a massage, it could be rolling yourself in the gym. Yeah. So.
Okay, so you've just started that.
Yes.
But that's a good way to combat burnout, I would say. Well, if it's a success.
Yeah. And then something else that Convera is doing, so the scope is not for wellness, but Convera gives us 5 days a year to do voluntary work. Okay?
That's so important, yes.
And although it's, the scope of it is to give back to the community, so you could go and help people in need, but now we have Earth Day coming up, so we could, go and help with a clean-up, at the beach.
And do you go as a team, or do you go, everyone chooses their own?
As it's open. You can go with the team, you can go by yourself, so
okay.
Convera always gives us the flexibility to do things the way they work.
And how do you report back? Is there a chat that you send
it's fun.
Info or updates on? Or?
Yeah, it's all fun. So, yes, we have an internal page, and when you see the pictures of each other, it's contagious, and it's, yeah. But what I was going to say as well, it's so nice to get off from your desk for that day. And it just helps you, get into perspective again. And
I know
just helps you think differently, so I really love those volunteer days as well. Yeah.
Right. I think it's these small daily habits, right, or monthly habits that really make a big difference to keep burnout at bay. Well done to the team for this initiative.
And then, because I could go on and on.
Yes, okay. Indeed. I did have another question, but anyway, yes, go on.
We also have, this is a local, this is something we have locally, that if there's a platform, and I can call anytime, 24/7, there are professional people working there, and if I'm going through a difficult time, this could be perhaps I'm having financial problems, or having problems at home, or perhaps having problems with a colleague, okay? I can literally pick up the phone and speak to a professional who will help me. And this is totally confidential, so it is just there to support the employees, you know. So it's very important that, like I said before, we're all adults. So we have these, we're very lucky to have these initiatives
yeah.
to make use of them and, you know, to think for yourself and, you know, make these habits actually real. Yeah.
That's great. That's really great and interesting. Thanks for that, Aud. Let's talk about perfectionism. Do you believe perfectionism is a contributing factor to workplace exhaustion? And if so, would you say that perfectionists are more prone to burnout than others?
Yeah. Perfectionism.
A question we could ask. You could ask me too.
Yes. I think we all suffer from, not all, but I think you and I suffer highly from perfectionism, Amanda. Yeah, it's for sure. For us, you know, having you here and seeing how perfect everything is at Avenue 77, it works for us, right? But we have to be, I think we have to be really honest and careful, you know, because when you're a perfectionist, things take longer to do. And then it just takes time from your daily life, from your family, you know. So I think it's really important that we remind ourselves, is this project I'm doing, is it better than it was yesterday? It is. Okay, so let's press pause, let's leave it as it is and revisit it in 6 months' time, because there's always things to improve on, you know, being a perfectionist. Yes,
yes,
yeah,
I think
we have to let go.
I agree. Yeah. Perfectionism can in fact be both a strength and a challenge in the workplace. You know, I think it's about finding the right balance.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So before we wrap up, I'd like to briefly touch on wellness and how prioritizing it can help to prevent burnout in the long run. We've sort of touched on it briefly before, but what advice would you give to anyone struggling to make time for wellness due to pressures of demanding roles?
I think it's really important to see what works for you. You know, maybe someone might need professional help. Maybe someone's been through that experience. Probably everyone has been through some burnout, okay? And to recognize those signs earlier and to do something about it before. And like we said before, you know, put those daily habits, make them happen. Correct. You know, manage it, that it continues happening, not, you know. Yeah.
I think that's really valuable advice, Aud. I think wellness shouldn't be an afterthought, you know, especially in high-pressured roles. Well, that's it. The question, we've come to a close. Aud, thanks again for being with us here, and I hope we have a very positive day.
Thank you, Amanda, and thanks to Avenue and 77 and the team for everything you do for us. Thank you.
Pleasure.